Hello everyone, my name is Sandeep Singh and I am from Department of Information Science and Engineering. Today I am going to tell you about Constitution of India. So why do we need a constitution? We need a constitution for freedom, peace, safety, equality, dignity, hope, love, justice and education. Necessity of a constitution. Imagine a game without rules. Just imagine in football match if there are no rules then what will happen? There will be no difference in between rugby match and a football match. So we can say that the rules are the fundamental for the game to be successful. Next we will move to the question based on the necessity of constitution. Freedom of speech and expression means right to express one's opinion by writing and printing, words of mouth, B and A both, and none of this. So the freedom of speech under the Article 19 includes the right to express one's views and opinion at any issue and any medium. Example by words of mouths, printing, picture, films, movie, etc. So the answer will be writing and printing and both word of mouths. Second question is part 3 of the constitution guarantees now dash categories of fundamental rights. So there are 6. Explanation. Article 12 to 35 contained in Part 3 of the Constitution deal with fundamental rights. These are right to equality including equality before law, provision of discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth, and equality of opportunity in matters of employment. So our third question is the main objective of the Indian Constitution include a sovereign state, a democratic country, sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy and republic. None of this. Explanation. The main objective of the Indian Constitution includes sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democracy and republic. Apart from this, justice, liberty and fraternity are also the part of the objectives of the Constitution. Fourth question. Directive principles are borrowed from the Constitution of. So the answer will be Ireland. Articles 36 and 51 under Part 4 of the Constitution deals with the directive principle of state policy. They are borrowed from the Constitution of Ireland, which has copied it from the Spanish Constitution. Next, we will move to our fifth question. The primary purpose of the Constitution is to establish a rigid set of rules that can be alerted, ensure the domination of single political party, safeguard the rights and liberties of individuals, concentrate the power of the hand at few elites. So our answer will be C. Safeguard the rights and the liberties of individual. Explanation. Safeguards are for anyone who is being arrested or detained. It is for all the people who suffer and those who are detained, those people are sent to judge. Next we will move to fundamental rights. What are fundamental rights? Fundamental rights are the basic human rights enshrined in the Constitution of India which are guaranteed to all citizens. They are applied without discrimination and on the basis of race, religion, gender, etc. Significantly, fundamental rights are enforceable by the court subject to certain conditions. So there are basically 6 fundamental rights of an Indian citizen: right to religion, right to exploration, right to equality, right to freedom, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. So there are 5 MCQs of fundamental rights buildings. First one is the article dealing right to equality are option A Article 14 to 18, B Article 12 to 35, C Article 36 to 51, D Article 50 to 78. So our answer will be Article 14 to 18. Article 14-18 which collectively encompasses the general principle of equality before law and non-discrimination, and Article 17 and to 18 which collectively encompasses the future of philosophy and social equality. Second question is right to life guarantee under Article 21 is applicable to option A only citizens, B all person, C convicts, D person residing within India. Explanation. The most striking feature of the article is that it provides the right to life not only the citizens of our country but also the foreigners. Thus, even a foreigner can seek protection from Article 21 in India. So, our third question is fundamental rights are classified in how many heads? So, 6 heads. Fundamental rights are classified into 6 heads. Those are right to equality, right to constitutional remedies, cultural and educational rights, right to freedom of religion, right against exploitation, right to freedom. So the fundamental rights has been classified six categories as we know. Fourth question. Fourth question is which part of the constitution contained provision regarding to the implementation Panchayat Raj in the country? The permeable, option B, part 3 dealing with fundamental rights, part 4 dealing with directive principle, none of these. So in the part 9 of the Indian Constitution, in the section of constitution relating to the panchayats, the answer will be the none of these. It consists in part 9 of the Indian Constitution. Question 5. Which of the following is not a fundamental right in the Indian Constitution? Option A, right to equality. Option B, right to freedom of religion. Option C, right to property. Option D, right to constitutional remedies. Our answer will be right to property. The right to property remained a human right and not a fundamental right according to the 44th Amendment brought into the Indian Constitution in 1978. Now we will move to the Directive Principle of State Policies, DPSPs. So what are Directive Principle of State Policies? These lay down the state shall strive to promote the welfare of people by securing and protecting and effective as it may a social order, in which justice, social, economic and political shall form all the institutions of the nation life. So here are the MCQs of the Directive Principle of State Policies. First one is the Directive Principle of State Policies are justiciable. Only some directive principle are justiciable, non-justiciable, none of these. Our answer will be non-justiciable. Directive principle of state policies are not justiciable rights, which means that they cannot be enforced through a court of law, but lays down the objectives and framework according to the word which policies and laws should be made. Question number 2. Directive principle of the state policies has been described under the article of 1 to 12, 36 to 51, 12 to 35, 9 to 27. So our option will be B, 36 to 51. Article 36 to 51 under Part 4 of the Constitution deals with the directive principle of state policies. They are borrowed from the Constitution of Ireland. Question 3. Directive principle of state policies were incorporated in the Constitution with a view to option A, ensure a democratic government in the country. B, provide a strong central government. C, establish welfare state. D, rise the living of standards of weaker section of the society. So our answer will be state C, establish a welfare state. The directive principle of state policy aim to create a social and economic condition under which the citizen can lead a good life. They should aim to establish a social economic democracy through a welfare state. Question number 4. The basic feature of the Indian Constitution is found in, so option A is fundamental duties, option B is fundamental rights, option C is permeable, option D is directive principle of state policies. So as we know, it comes under the directive principle of the state policies. Article 36 to 51 under Part 4 of the Indian Constitution deals with the directive principle of state policies. Question number 5. Directive principle of state policies comes under dash of the Constitution. So option A is part 1, option B is part 3, option C is part 2, option D is part 4. So as we know, Article 36 to 51 under part 4 of the Constitution deals with the directive principle of the state policies. So answer will be part 4. Now we will move to the Indian Parliament. Indian Parliament consists of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So legislature of the Union, which is called Parliament, consists of President and the two houses known as Council of States, Rajya Sabha, and the House of People, Lok Sabha. Each house has to meet within 6 months of this previous sitting. A joint of sitting of two houses can be held in certain cases. So our MCQ is based on the Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Number 1. How did the member of Rajya Sabha selected? Option is by the people. Option B is by the member of all the Vidhan Sabha. Option C by the members of all the Rajya Sabha. Option D none of these. Our answer will be option B, by the members of all the Vidhan Sabha. Our explanation is membership in Rajya Sabha is limited to 250 members and up to 238 members are selected by the members of all the Vidhan Sabha. Question number 2. How many Anglo-Indians and other can be nominated by the President, the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Option A is 2 and 10, option B is 1 and 10, option C is 2 and 12, option D is 1 and 12. So option C is our answer, 2 and 12. In Lok Sabha, 2 members are nominated by the President from the Anglo-Indian community. The President nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. We'll move to question number 3. Indian Constitution guarantees the reservation of seat of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in option A is Lok Sabha, option B is Lok Sabha and Assembly, option C is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, option D is Rajya Sabha. So our answer will be Lok Sabha and Assembly. The Lok Sabha has 84 seats reserved for the scheduled castes and 47 seats for the scheduled tribes. So in Lok Sabha, 84 seats are reserved for SC and 47 seats are reserved for scheduled tribes. Question number 4. The Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has a life of 6 years. It is a permanent house, has a life of 5 years, has a life of 7 years. So option B will be the answer. It is a permanent house. The Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body and cannot be subject to dissolution. We'll move to question number 5. Who is the main in the Parliament of India from 2013? So the main person in the Parliament is Pranab Mukherjee, option A, B Narendra Modi, C Sushil Kumar Shinde, D Ramvilas Paswan. So as we know, B Narendra Modi will be our answer. The Prime Minister act as the leader of the House of the Chamber of the Parliament. Generally the Lok Sabha they belongs to. Now we'll move to the amendment of the Constitution of India. So amendment of Constitution, the procedure for the amendment of the Constitution as laid down in the Article 368 is as follows. An amendment of the Constitution can be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either House of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and not in the state legislature. So some MCQs of the constitutional amendments. Question number 1 is the amendment process of the Constitution is described under A. Part 9 of the Indian Constitution, B. Part 10 of the Indian Constitution, C. Part 11 of the Indian Constitution and D. Part 12 of the Indian Constitution. So our answer will be Part B, Part 10 of the Indian Constitution. So the parliamentary may amend the Constitution by a way of addition, variation or repeal of any provision in accordance with the procedure laid down for the purpose. So our question number 2 is the process of amending the Constitution is based on the principle of option A flexibility, option B rigidity, option C supremacy, option D independence. So our answer will be rigidity. This can be described as a party flexible and party rigidity. The Constitution provides from a variety of amending process. Now we'll move to question number 3. With the reference to the 73rd Amendment Act of the Constitution of a Gram Sabha is a body consisting of option A. All the adult population of the village under the panchayat. Option B. The whole population of the village under the panchayat other than children less than 5 year age. Option C. The registered voters of the village under the panchayat. Option D. None of these. So our answer will be option C. The registered voters of the village under the panchayat. The 73rd Amendment of the mandate the establishment of the 3-tier Panchayat Raj system in all rural areas of India, which includes Indian Gram Panchayats, Panchayat Samits and Jila Parishads. Question 4. Which amendment deals with the establishment of the municipalities as a part of a constitution system? Option A 73rd, option B 74th, option C 44th, option D 86th. So our answer will be 74th. The 74th Constitutional Amendment Act was passed by the constitutionalize the system of the urban local government as known as the municipalities. Which amendment to the Constitution introduced the reservation for the economically weaker section? Option A 85th, option B 92th, option C 100th, option D 103rd. So our answer will be 103rd. The Constitutional of 103rd Amendment Act brought in a 10% reservation for economically weaker section EWS of society other than the backward classes. Thank you everyone and have a nice day.